The ad, a crude digital scrawl on the flickering screen of Craigslist, spoke of a ping-pong table. Good condition, must go. A simple enough transaction, a mundane acquisition for the shared basement of my rented abode. My roommate Elias had long yearned for such a diversion, a brief respite from the encroaching shadows that seemed to lengthen with each passing day. I, ever the pragmatist, sought to fulfill this simple desire, oblivious to the abyssal depths it would reveal. The appointed hour arrived, a twilight draped in a sickly, jaundiced hue, the sky itself a canvas of bruised purples and ominous grays. I navigated the labyrinthine streets, the GPS a malevolent oracle whispering directions into the heart of an unknown suburb. The house, when it finally materialized, was a grim, squat structure, its windows like vacant eyes peering into the encroaching gloom. A palpable sense of wrongness clung to the air, a miasma of unseen dread. I texted the seller a laconic "I'm here," and watched as the front door creaked open, revealing a figure silhouetted against the dim interior. He was a man of unsettling proportions, his frame gaunt and angular, his face obscured by the shadows of a wide-brimmed hat. His voice, when he spoke, was a rasping, guttural croak, a sound that seemed to emanate from the very depths of the earth. "Basement," he rasped, gesturing with a skeletal hand. The air within the house was thick, cloying, a suffocating blend of stale tobacco and something else, something indescribably foul, a subtle, sickly sweet undertone that sent a shiver down my spine. It was a smell that clung to the back of my throat, a physical manifestation of the encroaching wrongness. The basement was a subterranean realm of shadows and dampness, the air heavy and stagnant. The ping-pong table stood in the center, a dark monolith in the dim light, its surface reflecting the single bare bulb like a distorted mirror. The man, with a disconcerting abruptness, declared, "Paddles, must find paddles." He vanished up the stairs, leaving me alone in the oppressive silence. The silence was not empty. It was filled with the subtle creaks and groans of the house, the faint drip of water, the rustling of unseen things in the shadows. I felt a growing unease, a prickling sensation on my skin, as if unseen eyes were watching me. I began to explore, a morbid curiosity driving me deeper into the heart of the unknown. The framed photographs scattered about the basement were a testament to the man's isolation. Each depicted him alone, his gaunt face staring out with a vacant, unsettling intensity. There was one, a faded Polaroid, showing him with a large, shaggy dog, the only hint of companionship in his desolate existence. The absence of other human faces was a gaping void, a chilling testament to his solitude. 10 minutes stretched into an eternity. The man did not return. The silence grew heavier, more oppressive. I ventured towards a darkened alcove, a makeshift laundry and storage area. A half-open drawer in a dilapidated utility desk beckoned, its contents a morbid curiosity. Within I found them the Polaroids. They were not mere snapshots of mundane life. They were images of unspeakable horror, glimpses into a twisted, depraved reality. A young woman bound and gagged, her eyes wide with terror, her face contorted in a silent scream. Each photograph was a testament to her suffering, a chilling chronicle of her torment. Beside the Polaroids, a row of yellow folders, meticulously labeled A to Z, stood like silent sentinels. I dared not open them, my mind recoiling from the unspeakable horrors they surely contained. My hand trembled as I reached for my phone, desperate to capture these abominations, to expose the darkness that lurked beneath the surface. But the basement was a dead zone, a void where signals died, where the tendrils of the outside world could not penetrate. Cold dread seized me. I knew, with a certainty that chilled my very soul, that I was in mortal danger. I turned to flee, to ascend the stairs, to escape this subterranean realm of horror. But the door, the gateway to the world above, was locked. A rasping voice, the voice of the man, echoed from the other side. "Accident locked, key." His words were a sinister lullaby, a prelude to unspeakable horrors. I did not respond. I did not plead. I did not beg. I simply acted, driven by a primal instinct for survival. I examined the keyhole, a crude, rectangular opening. I descended back into the basement, my heart pounding like a war drum in my ears. I found the utility desk, its drawers filled with tools of unknown purpose. I seized 3 screwdrivers, their cold metal a stark contrast to the clammy sweat on my palms. Back at the door, I worked with a desperate urgency, my hands trembling, my mind racing. The smallest screwdriver, by some stroke of perverse fortune, fit into the keyhole. I turned, and the lock clicked, a sound that echoed through the silent basement like a death knell. I did not hesitate. I did not look back. I fled, my feet pounding against the concrete floor, my lungs burning, my mind reeling. I burst through the front door into the sickly twilight and ran to my truck, my sanctuary, my escape. I did not look back at the house, at the man, at the darkness that lurked within. I drove, my hands gripping the steering wheel, my eyes fixed on the road ahead, a blur of asphalt and shadows. I drove until I reached the police station, a beacon of light in the encroaching darkness. I showed them the photographs, the chilling evidence of the man's depravity. I gave them the address, the location of the subterranean horror. I told them of the folders, the silent sentinels of unspeakable acts. Days later, the truth emerged, a grotesque tapestry of depravity and corruption. The question of his intentions, of his reasons for locking me in that subterranean realm of horror, remained unanswered. It was a question that haunted my waking hours, a chilling echo in the silence of my dreams. I knew, with a certainty that chilled my very soul, that I had narrowly escaped a fate worse than death, a descent into the abyss of unimaginable darkness.